Alright, hey, what up? Shaved beard, in case y'all didn't notice. Anyway, so this is once again a quick video. I'm just shouting into the void here. And this is actually a sort of correction and continuation of my previous video. Because I've realized something. So, first of all, this was brought on by a discussion in a comments section, which was a nice, easy discussion between me and someone called Oliver Martin. At least that was their YouTube display name thing for the comments. And it was in a brief analysis of Kel by, let's see here, if I can click on the video, it would be great. If I can pause it. Yes, pause.
Hi, everyone.
Oh, no, stop.
Sorry for not uploading.
Okay, there we go. Whoops, that's my bad. By Feverr. And it was basically talking about how each of the characters were the stages of grief, but he actually disagreed and thought that, well, obviously, let's address the obvious. Kel is acceptance, Aubrey is still anger, and Hero is still depression. Those three are pretty easily set in stone. But he saw Sunny as denial and Basil as bargaining. And we had a whole discussion about it. It's one of the higher up, if not the highest up comment. You could just go to the video and look at that stuff. But the more I thought about it, the more I thought that he might be right. He cited how that Basil keeps thinking that if he keeps quiet, then Sunny will be okay, and that eventually they will reunite if he just keeps quiet, which is obviously bargaining. And the dream world could also see being as denial, but also as bargaining, trading in the real world for this perfect one. Now, there's still elements of denial and bargaining in each of them, and each of them display more than just one thing, but each of them usually have one that resonates much stronger than the others. Obviously, Aubrey went through a depression stage, but she represents anger. That's the one that resonates most. And then I got thinking, maybe the reason I got it confused, and not to shift blame or anything, but this is a genuinely fascinating discovery for me, is how similar bargaining and denial are. Now hear me out. Anger is an outward lashing against things often unrelated to the death. It often could be related to the death, but usually they take out their frustration on other things, by punching stuff, by lashing out at other people, stuff like that. Depression is a far more inward thing, and it's a lot more, well, again, not only inward, but it's also a lot more self-centric, thinking that you're a terrible person and that there's nothing left to do for a while, or however you react when grief happens. And acceptance, well, it's moving on and deciding to better yourself and not let this define you, which is obviously the most unique. But denial and bargaining are pretty similar, unlike those three who have very little connection to one another. Denial is refusing to admit that the situation even happened, and bargaining is trying to delude yourself into thinking that there is something that you can still do about the situation, or imagining if you had done this, then the situation wouldn't have happened. Nobody, of course, knows this, at least often. It's not as black and white as that. However, both involve you trying to, in your head, either refuse to admit that it happened, or delude yourself into thinking that you could have done something. And in either case, it's something that kind of is avoiding the situation and trying to be focusing on what could have happened and what you could have done. These two stages have a lot more in common with each other. They're than the other two. Three. Than the other three. Again, it's a very interesting discovery, and I'll go ahead and say it. Basil is probably bargaining and Sunny Sunny denial. But I do think these two resonate strongly with each. And since Sunny and Basil are so interconnected and intertwined in the game, how they had a very good friendship, and how much of the game is about saving Basil, real or fake. I think that these two, having the stages of grief that are the strongest intertwined with one another, makes a lot of sense. As for which one resonates more of each one, I'm going to go ahead and correct it. By the way, good job on Oliver Martin. I'm going to go ahead and say Sunny is bargaining in... No, Basil basal bargaining and sunny denial. It's a very fascinating discovery that I made, and again, this is shouting to the void basically. But I thought it was very fascinating, and I hope I gave you all something to think about. And let this be shown. Having a nice civic discussion actually made me not only rethink my value, but it also got me to think about something new. Don't yell at each other. That solves nothing. This nice, casual conversation managed to do so much more than just yelling at each other, whatever. I'm going to go ahead and link the video I mentioned earlier down below. By the way, credit not only to Oliver Martin, but for Feverr for uploading the video that got us into that discussion. I'll, again, leave a link for that in the description below so you can watch it and find our comments. It's like one of the top comments that's not pinned. So it shouldn't be all that hard to find. It's in the replies to Oliver Martin's original comment of more recognition for Kel, blah, blah, blah. So go ahead and check that out. Maybe check him out while you're there. I don't know. Anyway, well, I'll hope to see you all next time. Bye.